Hello, welcome to Drawing with Fire. I'm Valarie, your neighborhood pyrography artist. I'm joined with hubby.
Okay.
And we are detailing Xena out. I finally got her all blocked in. I removed the graphite, though I still see some in it. So I'm going to actually re-wipe her down. And as I burn, it'll also disappear, so I'm not stressing about it too much. But I do want as much gone as possible. And then after this, after all the detailing and I get everything the way I want it, she is done. Hey Sheila, Philip, Amy, Barb, Sharon, Teresa, Troy, or should I say Timmy. So I'm going to wipe her down real quick with my denatured alcohol and half of this is a shop paper towel. I do like those. I also like the, what are the Aviva or whatever. That are more cottony feeling. So all I'm doing is putting some denatured alcohol. This will dry quickly, doesn't raise the grain, but does help get rid of the graphite. And actually, I've noticed for whatever reason, this board has been having little splinters come off, which is not normal and not normal for a Trekell board. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to swipe down with the alcohol so that it's not pulling at the grain that might be raised. Oops. And I can definitely feel it. Why it's doing this, I don't know. Again, I still have a theory about this piece of wood, but sometimes you just get wood that doesn't want to work with you. You see, I can see down here some of the paper towel, and I can actually get rid of it by using my eraser to pull it out of the grain. So I'll do that real quick. I did spend a lot of time trying to block her in so I could get the board clean. The last photo I posted on Facebook didn't have any of her back fur, and I darkened the blanket, which I still feel it needs to go darker. Let's see here. Let me see if I can see any of the raised ones. And unfortunately, this is just one thing with working with wood, and sometimes you get a less ideal piece of wood, and you have to figure out how to make things work better. So I will just, and again, I'll keep cleaning this board as I go. I'm not going to stress about it right now. Like right here I see some graphite, and I think some of the graphite might be down in the groove where there's been a splinter. So that may be actually part of my issue. I can always see that one went away. Okay. I've been trying to go erasing with the grain. That way it's easier to get the graphite out. I'm going to turn on the pen. I think I'm actually going to use the 2B instead of the 18M this time, because this heats and burns a little differently, even though it's a very similar shape. And because I've been having a hard time just in general with this wood burning, and if I've been wanting it darker, it's just not been wanting to do it. I don't know what is going on. This is not normal. This is not a normal experience with me for the Trekell boards. So this type of cut I wouldn't buy again. I would stick to what I like. But this is for a specific project. That's why it had to be on this board. Alrighty. So I'm going to try to focus right here to have her head, because right now it kind of looks like it slopes back, but it actually slopes back and then kind of goes up and then curves around. In order to get that up feeling before it curves, I've got to darken this area to follow the photo over there, especially in this section between her eyes and her snout. Alright, so I am at 4. I'm still going to try to burn in the direction. Let's see here. I can do this so you can see it closer. I'm going to still follow the direction of her fur, because if I go in any other direction, it's going to completely throw it off. So, and I can use the edge to get some fur lines in. See, this is at 4, and on my test board, it was much darker than what I'm getting here. Yeah, see. I hadn't tried this pin out yet, and I may switch to get it to work better. So all of this is actually in shadow because the light is coming down on her back. It hits the high points on the top of her fur on her head, and then it hits the snout and her foot because the light's coming straight down. So you really got to pay attention to that, because shading in a different way wouldn't really make sense. So even though this is white, all white fur, it still has tonal value. And I gotta keep with it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to switch pins. It's just not. Whoops, bumped it with my glasses. There we go. Do that. So it's just a matter of finding a pin that works for what you want. And sometimes you might have to go through a couple. That's okay. So, following the fur. See right there, I've got a piece of paper towel.
Excuse me.
So how's everybody doing?
They're being very quiet.
Oh. Where's the giggles? Hey David, hey Ronald, hey Melissa, hey Pete.
I just have to refresh my chat again.
Can you switch it from the top to live? Okay, you're on live. Alright, I'm going to switch back over to the 18M because I can move quickly. I think you're going to have to be okay. But see, based on looking at the shadows, her face is going to have to be closer to this pot. And right now, it looks lighter than it is, and that's just how the light's hitting it. And because it's not sealed yet. So I'm actually going to go up to 5 because this wood just isn't
Excuse me.
accepting the burn the way I'd want it to. So I'm going to move quickly and draw it in the direction. I have had to use the knife to clean things up, because I find that after I sit down after the live, I see that I've screwed some areas up. Right there, that's going to be too dark. Fudgesicles. I'll have to scratch that out or make a decision if I want everything that dark. Actually, it looks like I'm going in the wrong direction. I'm going to take my heat down, be a little more patient. Let's see here. This fur is actually going up here and then goes down. Right, so I'm just going to lighten this up a little bit. Hopefully. I can also use I've been using a lot of sandpaper too. I'll show that. Since I went in the wrong direction there, I want to catch it now, because it's so much easier to fix when you catch it early. I will say, because it's burning lighter, it's easier to fix things. And I try to go in a bigger area around so that I don't get any kind of indents, any basically divots where I've been sanding. But I do use the 400 to keep it at the same, because because that's the board's sanded to 400. Alrighty.
Why is David Zinman having a bad day?
I don't know. Is he? Hey, bro. I don't know. He's gonna have to tell us if he wants. But I am sorry you're having a bad day.
Somebody, do you need me to punch somebody in the face, David? I will do it.
Yeah, because you're having kind of an off day, so.
I'm ready to punch somebody.
Yeah,
in the
I
face.
guess so.
But not you.
Well, you would never do that to me.
No. Not anybody nice. Somebody that deserves it. Somebody needs a good face punching.
So I'm going to try to focus on this area so we can see the difference eye-wise on contrast versus no contrast. I would say years ago I would have already called this done. And it wouldn't have felt quite right because it's still too light.
Yeah. You know, when you showed me this last night, I wasn't looking at the reference, and it looked that to me. But now that I see the reference, I see like where you need to go in with the deep shadows.
Yeah.
His bones don't like the weather.
Well, send us the rain. We'll take it.
Yeah.
We are having the driest summer in monsoon season. Driest ever recorded since 1899.
Like, we can't even call it a monsoon season.
There has been no monsoon season.
Exactly. Aaron Smith is here.
Hi, Aaron. Let's see here. Now I'm going to have to detail out more fur going out. I am going to add white, but I don't want it to be a stark white. Let's see here. One thing I will say about the cut of this, it's easy for me to get different angles without having to balance the board. Yep.
It's not just a rectangle.
Yep.
Well, that's cool.
So let's get this darker. So I'm using the side, but I'm also... Okay, this is going to be hard to explain. Let me get my test board. Let me see if I can get a good angle. So as I'm doing this, let's see here, using the side like this, and then I'll switch and use like a thicker and go back and forth. I can twist it to get the other side so that the fur is not going like this. If the fur just goes like this, unless it's in small spaces where it's required, that looks very uniform and throws off the fur. But if I'm moving it around, it also just depends on my speed. If I go quick, it goes lighter. If I slow down, I can burn a thicker group of fur. I don't want this. There's very few places on animals where the fur is just very uniformed. Even if it looks uniform, there's still a little bit of curve to it and different heights, and all that makes a difference on having it look realistic, if that's what you're going for. Now, if you're not going for realism, if you're going for more of a pop art or comic book, anime, illustrated look, then you could get away with more uniform lines. I'm wanting realism, so I have to be really careful. And see here, I'm curving the pen to match the curve of the fur. And I'm trying to overlap. And I'm going to use the tip and kind of follow that direction and kind of thicken it up a little bit so they're not all... Like here, I really need to fix this because it looks too uniform, and there's just areas I need to fix on that. Oh wait, see, I felt a splinter. Let me see if I can find it. My hand may have already gotten it. I don't know why this wood's been doing it. I really don't. Not normal for the Trekell boards. I am going to contact them and find out though. Let's see here. Now he has some dark whiskers. Let me see if I can get it. This is a dark whisker. And as I burn more, it will make more sense. And I did have to keep reminding myself that I was in the ugly stage, because there's a few times I got pretty frustrated and sandpaper and X-Acto knife and kept working on an area to try to fix it. And there's still an area I really need to figure out why I'm so off on it. That happens. Now this is longer fur, so I want to do longer strokes. And to do shorter fur, it's either little strokes or actual like pin. If the hair is looking right at you, it's more of just a dot. And then with the wood burner, you need to try to replicate the length of the fur by how your stroke is. Let's see here, I've got a lighter here. This gets lighter. See, how can I still see? But see, you can already see the difference between the two sides and how the contrast really helps. So even though this is white fur, it still has a lot of tonal value to it. Like right here, could still be darker. It's not as smooth as I want. See, I can go back with the 12S or the 17SR and just kind of detail out some of the fur, but right now I'm just trying to darken. Let's see here. So right here, even though white fur, which tells me that this area needs to go darker, because as I'm darkening up this, where I thought was dark, doesn't look as dark now. So I need to darken this up. And that's why I always say don't add any color until you're completely done burning, because as you add more contrast, you're going to have to adjust how dark other areas are. So I think that's definitely being shown here. So this still needs to be a darker area here, looking at the reference, because this is the most indented part of the area. In other words, this part, oh, maybe this would work. So he's laying down, and of course this isn't bent exactly like her, but the light is coming from behind straight down. So anything in that indent down here would not be getting the light. Now it might get a little reflective light from something she's sitting on or something near her, but down here in this little valley, you're not getting a whole lot of light. Whereas if the light's coming from behind, you'd be getting light up here and the light down here.
Pete wants to know, are those the pointy or flat ones?
Pointy or flat ones? What, on which?
I'm not sure.
Let's see, I'm having a some. See, Pete, looking at your burning, I honestly think the front, your main subject, needs to be darker. And, okay, I just found the splinter. Let's see, where did it go? It's right there. And see, that is not normal for any of the Trekell boards that I've ever used. Even the Dick Blick boards. I very rarely ever. You see, they've been sticking into my hand, but that's also why I've got these unburned lines. Let's see, I'm trying to, guess it helps if I'm on camera. So that right there is one of the splinters that just came off. Very frustrating. I think you could go. I'm trying to. Pete's doing a night that has a foggy background with nights in the background that are pushed back in the fog. What part did you want? Oh, the 18S and 18M are both pointy. The other one I was using was the 2B, which is not pointy. So that's the difference. And yes, let's see here, Aaron. This is the regular 17 Corsair. This is the 17 SR that I had made that Pat now sells. This one is easier to curve versus the 17. So that's what that is. Alrighty. But I do think, Pete, you should darken your knight in the front to push him forward. And the only reason you wouldn't is if he's also in the fog. Which, that's why I use Photoshop to make all my adjustments. Because it's easier for me to visualize what I want. Let's see here. So this fur.
Pete says it's emerging in the fog and sky.
I have to look at his again.
Troy says that's how he identifies his tips. Big pointy one, little flat one.
Well, sometimes the very technical works better. Alright, so let's see here. So it is darker here. This is a little lighter. This is a little darker. So let's get that in there. So the eye because the eyeball is an actual ball, the muscular beneath the fur follows the shape of that ball. So there's going to be the indent following the ball. So you get that in. The shape. So even if you've got fur and you can't see the muscles, like say doing a portrait, you still have to pay attention to where and how things lay, because the fur and skin lay on the muscle. So if you go off from that direction, it really throws off the piece. I'm trying to figure out the best way to say that. You don't have to know muscular, you just have to pay attention. It does help if that's something you're into. Studying the muscles of any body, whether it's animal or human or a dog, definitely helps to improve your burning. Alright. So even right there, the little I've done, we can see the difference in how much this looks like it's going up and then it'll curve versus this. But I'm going to keep trying to work on this side just because you can see how it looks. The contrast makes all the difference in your burning. You can have everything laid out right, but if you don't have a good contrast, it just won't. It'll feel like there's still something a little off with the piece. I do see that I need to incorporate some shadows that are lighter coming down into the nose. Now all this fur is going this way. See, he's laying cockeyed, so her head is not flat. It's a little tilted like this. And I really need to do more with the blanket to make sure that that comes across. So that's why this eye might look a little back, because instead of her laying, let's see here. Instead of her laying like this, so everything is even, she's laying like this and like this. So he's just slightly tilted back and tilted up. So that's why this eye is smaller and at an angle. And it's just the little things that make a big difference.
We're talking about tips. Erin Smith wants to know, is it sharper? I'm using the SR for the Sharpay that she's working on.
She's using...
She says it's great, but it doesn't turn easy for her. And Pete says that you should do a video for idiots like him, explaining tips.
No idiots.
I knew you were going to say that.
Because there isn't. Is it sharper? I'm using the SR. The 17 SR is the... Or you're using the 17. The 17 SR is that one. And sharper... Are you talking in thickness of the V or the tip on the end? I've done a lot of this with the 18 M and S. I've been using both of them because then I don't actually have to keep switching pens over and over again. It's just how I use the pen. So if you could only buy 2 pens, I would recommend the 18M and the 9M. Let's see here. So I'm going to try to flatten it out a little bit. See, I need to come down. I'm going really quick so that it's not... I don't want it as dark as there. But I do need to get some shading in here. Let's see here. And see the photo you guys are looking at, I normally zoom in so I can see the textures better. Let's see here.
I'm sure he said, she showed me all the tips. It didn't stick. He says maybe the second time was a charm.
Did you buy an Optima finally?
Speaking of Troy.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think so. I talked to him. He didn't say anything about it.
Let's see here. I need some darker up here because the highlights here are pushed forward by the shading back here. So let's get that in there. If I start off a little lighter, it's just easier for me to see where I'm going. Let's see here. I can always darken it up. And it's not so much a mask. It's just how the fur is laying on the face. Let's see here. Stick on this side. Stay on this side. And then the other day I had to go down and work on the blanket because I just... So much fur. So much fur. Alright. I'll try to stay right in the middle so we can see the difference. And to me this is probably the funnest part because this is where I really start seeing it come alive and start looking like her. And I'm working my way out of the ugly stage. And it feels better. So that's why I like doing, let's see here. Light just bouncing over it. Because I can always darken. You see now this area right here. what I'm going to do, let's see here, pull you down, is I'm going to draw the tip down so the less of the heat ends up hitting at the bottom. Let's see. That's right here, there.
Troy says not yet. The more I watch, the more I want one. I think I'm gonna buy a razor tip. People I trust say it's better.
I got 10 fingers on the board. 2 of them are for you.
Which ones, I wonder?
Oh, he knows. He knows which ones.
Pete says he's still saving pennies for an Optima. He just keeps spending it before I manage to save up enough.
I know that feeling. I know that feeling. Well, I definitely feel that, because even before I got the Optima, with all my other burners, I still felt like I was looking for something, and I don't feel like that anymore. Maybe I'll get less.
It's true. When you were, I forget the burner that you liked so much.
My nibs burner?
Yeah, the nibs burner. When you found out about nibs burner
I cried.
that Alice was going to be shutting down the business or whatever, you definitely started a quest, and that's how
this channel started
you
too.
Ended up with like all the burners that you have
Because there was misinformation.
Yeah.
I'd be told one thing, or you'd read one thing. I wouldn't be told directly. You'd read one thing, and then you'd find out it's not what they said.
Here. Beryl says, ban Troy. Troy says, Valarie will kill me if I get a razor tip. That is true.
You do come visit us in February, March time frame.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're a sitting duck. You're here. David's asking, Optima is better. Yes, it is. And I'm going to get thumbs down on this video later on because I said that, but it's the truth. And what's frustrating is when people say that whatever other burner they're using is the best, and they've never tried another burner, so they don't know the difference. No. Whereas I definitely know the difference.
I would tell you this because I feel like some people might feel that like this is some kind of a bias, and it is a bias in the end because that's what your favorite is. But
okay, but I still, every time I turn this burner on, I still try to find something wrong with it.
I know, but let me finish.
Sorry.
Not that you ever interrupt me.
Sorry.
Anyway, but before Valarie got to the Optima, she went through all the rest of those burners that she could get her hands on, and she's very critical of every burner that she has used because she was trying to find one that lived up to the one that she had that she liked.
This surpasses it.
And I remember the day that you had gotten in contact or that you found out about Optima, and I had never heard about Optima because prior to her finding out about Optima, I had only heard about like Walnut Hollow and Nibs Burner and Razor Tip and whatever else, Burnmaster. Yeah, I had only heard about those, and so did you. You had
no, I knew about Optima. I just didn't know anything, not a whole lot about it.
Okay, well I didn't know about Optima. Anyway, so she was highly skeptical, and like she voiced this to me. I
voiced it to him, kind of too.
Yeah, and she was like, I don't know, what this burner is. Nobody is talking about it. It was like, why should this be so good? She had no expectations of it being good, and when she tests out any of these burners, like she really, like honestly, like if you ran a company and you're looking for somebody to quality control an item, Valarie would be the person that you would submit that your designs to, And you probably would hate submitting your designs too, because
That's true.
she dissects every one. And she's like, no,
It's true.
this isn't good. And she did that for every burner. She's like, well, I like these things, but I don't like how this knob does this. This feels loose. I don't like the way that this heats up. Something's wrong with the way that this does this. And I was like, like, you're being awfully
Critical.
of this. And she's like, well, I want something that's going to live up to my expectations. And I was like, well, you got some high expectations then.
This is how I create my art, so yes.
But, so, like, when people, I think, sometimes when people hear Valarie talking about the Optima, that they just think, oh, she's affiliated.
I don't get paid by anybody.
She's affiliated, and, she's just biased. But understand that any bias that she has come from rigorous testing of the other burners, so much so that I was sick of hearing about it, for sure. Like, to me, I am not nearly as
Picky?
Picky. I wasn't going to say that, but yes, picky.
Hey, you're spending good money. It
Right.
better do what it says it does.
And, so, like, when the Optima came, I was like, oh boy, this is going to be I almost said something else, but a nightmare, because I was like, there's no way that it's going to be, she's going to tear it apart, and this is going to be awful. And then, to my surprise, and I think to Valarie's surprise as well,
Oh yeah.
she's like, wow, it actually does the things that he says it can, and it's comfortable, and all the things, and it became her favorite burner. And that's how come, like, when Valarie talks about it, why she's so positive about it, because she's really run the rest of them through the ringer. And,
I run all of them,
and
including
not,
this one.
And it's not like any of them are bad burners. Like, if I could make the comparison, because me and my metaphors, right? A car will get you to work, right? And so, and when you're talking about getting to work and getting to work safely and on time, like, almost any car can do that. Now, if you have, like, an older car that is not that dependable, you may have to plan ahead, and it may take you longer to get to work, but you'll get there, right?
Hopefully.
It'll check all the boxes for you, But as you get up in quality, it's easier to get to work. It's more of a pleasant journey to get to work. Maybe it's more dependable, so on and so forth. And that's kind of where Valarie is with the Optima. Like, it is the best way. It is the best car to get to work in for her.
Well, not only that, and all of that is correct, absolutely correct. But what bugs me is, I'm trying not to say any names. There are certain burners
I can expound upon that. And then
that claim to be professional, cost an arm and a leg, that has major issues.
Well, and then
Like major issues.
and that's the thing. And it's like people say, well, Valarie doesn't like this burner or that burner. It's not necessarily that she doesn't like them. It's just that they don't meet up to the expectations of what they're putting out. If they said, this car will get you to work, that's great, and maybe that's the car for you, but that's not what they're saying. It's like,
And then it's overpriced.
right, they're like saying it's a Hyundai. If there's any like people that love Hyundai, I'm sorry, but they're like, okay, well, this is a Hyundai and it's just as good as a Porsche, and it's like, that's not really a correct statement, when it comes down to it, and so it's not that Valarie hates, like any of these other burners. It's just that I think that a lot of them are misrepresenting themselves for what that they do, and especially for the price point. So, and that's why she really, really likes the Optima, because it does what it says it can,
And it's not an arm and a leg.
right, and it works for you. It may not work for everybody, but
Oh, it'll work for everybody, but it may work if they work differently. It will take some getting used to.
right. And I know that there's some people that are like, well, you can do anything anything that you're doing, you can do it with a walnut hollow.
Nope.
Well, no, that's true. You can.
Yes.
But it's going to take you significantly longer to do it.
But that's not completely true. You can only get a line as thin as your tip.
Well, that's true, but like...
So if the tip isn't very thin, you're not going to get the thin lines that I do.
Right. So you would have, in order to get that same kind of composition, like this portrait of Xena might have to be much larger.
Well, not
So
necessarily larger. It just maybe doesn't have the same level of detail.
Well, what I'm saying is for the same level of detail, you'd have to go
Yeah.
larger, you know, in order to accommodate the limitations in line width and things like that.
And there's nothing wrong with those who like their
Yeah.
solid tip burners. Nothing wrong with that. There's one particular guy in all the Facebook groups, well, not all of them because he ain't mine, who tried to tell me over and over again that he could do what I do without proving it.
Well, and then that's the other thing is that so when you see Valarie talk about an Optima or whatever, it is because that she has rigorously tested all those other burners. She's driven all those other cars, and so it's not just like, oh, I like mine better because that's the one I have. It's because you've tested it. And if any one of those burners had met her full expectations on this journey, she would be burning with those.
Yep.
You know, because that's the way she is. And like if Optima had not panned out, she would have been...
I don't know what I'd be using if...
Yeah. Well,
I probably would have gone back. Well, it depends on why it didn't pan out.
But here we are.
Here we are.
So that's how she's come about, why she uses what she uses. And I see people, and that's in life. You always see that, you know, especially in the art world. You see people who do make those kind of claims. Like when I was in school, you know, people would, you know, look at my work and they'd be like, oh yeah, I can do that. You know, and that's fine. You know, that's, you know, I take it with a grain of salt. It's like, okay, cool.
Do it.
You know, but yeah, do it. You know, don't tell me. Like, the thing that always bothers, it doesn't bother me. It's like it's a human thing. It's like if you're an artist and you've heard this statement, like you show somebody, and I've spoken on this before.
Okay.
But you show somebody a piece of work that you've done, right? And they're like, oh wow, that's really nice. I have a cousin who does this, but is way more detailed. Like everybody has a relative that kicks ass at what you do, but they won't. They'll rarely provide proof, you know. And it's, I don't know whether it's one-upmanship or what. And like it's like most of the time that happens, I'd say like once or twice, I've been shown somebody else's work and I was like, you know, oh wow, that is really nice, you know. But most of the time, because I'm an optimist, you know, it's like, oh wow, your cousin does really cool work. I'd really like to see it, you know, because I want to be inspired. And most of the time, I'm kind of disappointed. I'm like, well, okay, it's okay, I guess, you know.
Well, that's the same with when somebody says they've been burning for 20 years.
Yeah.
I'm looking to learn something from you because we'll be at 14 in December. So that tells me, whew, you've got 6 years on me. But then when I look at the work and that's not the case, it's a bit frustrating.
Sorry, my chat was stuck for a minute, so I'm catching up.
Yeah.
Sharon says, is Troy the one you taught to burn? How
Yep.
grateful. Oh, they're talking about Optima versus other things.
Such as?
Just, okay, well, Philip says, speaking for myself, I love the Optima. I had or do have a Colwood, but I will never go back.
Yep.
And David said my walnut hollow burn up. Oh, and set a fire.
Yeah. I was really actually disappointed in the Walnut Hollow for the price point that it's at.
You talking about the
new one? Yeah, the wire tip.
I was not,
had they been cheaper, it would have been fine.
I was not impressed with that when I saw it, and I'm not a professional burner by any means, but I know what to look for. And to me, it had just kind of an odd feel to it. It felt like a toy to me.
Oh, that absolutely.
Yeah, because it's like molded plastic and stuff, and it just doesn't have that, and it's kind of rattly, like stuff that's been put together, like clicks together, but doesn't, it's not like fitted together, and that's just my opinion. But I was like, and then I come from a safety background, in the Army, and so I'm looking at it and I'm like, there's things about that unit that bother me from that standpoint as well. So
they weren't happy with me. Well, what are you gonna do? Because one thing I won't do is lie. I've had people ask me to send my review video prior to me posting it on YouTube because they wanted to see what I had to say, and I always refuse that because I don't want them sending me notes. I don't want them trying to make a case because now they know what I think.
Troy's going back to the metaphor of the car. He says, I don't want my car to catch fire from time to time.
Yeah, that's true too.
Girl says he could roast those ranch Doritos on him.
And he probably would.
Probably would.
Let's see here. See, right here it was too dark and in the wrong shape. So now, I guess to fix it.
Greg's here.
Hey, Greg. Sorry, thinking. Okay, that's already dry.
Art is objective, yes.
Yes, very much so. Very much so. Okay. Teresa lost the video, but she got it back. Alright. Whew. Make sure.
Erin says that's why she likes your reviews. You back up opinions with facts.
I try.
Don't, and it makes her go grrr.
Makes me go grrr too when I see it.
Oh yeah, yes, and I get the brunt of that. Like I'll be sitting somewhere and Val will storm in. And it's like you won't believe. Like,
and I'll growl.
Yeah, she'd be like, grrr. Can't believe what says. Okay, I got it. Let me put out some more misinformation.
Which misinformation is why I started my channel.
Yes.
That was the reason. Because there's so much of it out there. I'm trying to get... I'm off on my... how far down this goes. This is the top of the ear. And so it's fuzzier. I'm trying... I'll use white color pencil or whatnot here, but I need to scrape it out so I can see it. Let's see here, this.
Oh, Teresa says her laptop is possessed.
I hate when that happens. Sometimes this computer is. Alrighty. So we go to end it there. Here goes up. Let's see if I can reshape it. I'm gonna actually turn my heat down to 3 because I'm trying to reshape an area. So I want to make it that if I mess up, I can more easily fix it if it's lighter. Let's see here. So that comes down. And then
David has thunderstorm going on where he's at.
I'm jealous.
And Pete had a storm pass over him about 20 minutes ago.
Well, please send all your rain to Flagstaff. We need it.
Yeah, we do. I told Troy, because it's raining where Troy's at too. And I was like, I'll trade weather with you.
Yep.
Then the jerk, he says, "Oh, you know what? Tired of rain. I'm gonna move to Arizona." He says, "But not near you."
Fine, he can go down to Phoenix, see what hell's like.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm trying to reshape. We got fluff here, and this fluff will get highlights. Let's see, but I need more fluff up here. Let's get that up there.
I didn't talk about them, but they're not talking about it now. But there was a lot of positivity about the Optima. The people that use Optimas. I feel like the Toasties are like an Optima gang.
It's kind of working on that.
Yeah, I mean, anybody comes into chat and they're like, "I like the Burnatron 60," and it's like all the Toasties swarm them. Like, what'd you say? What'd you say?
Little snapping.
You come around here saying things like that.
Them fighting words.
Yep. Beryl's got her chain. She's swinging her chain.
Don't give her ideas. Don't give her any ideas. Alright. See, the contrast has really changed.
Okay, I have to go
Check
the seal.
She just wants a cookie.
Probably. She does this every time.
I know. That's why I closed the studio door this time.
Don't talk about me while I'm going.
Okay, so let's see here. Any stories
What
about...
did I just say?
Oh, sorry. Okay, any stories? Actually, no. Can't think of anything. Troy might have some. So right now I'm just trying to darken up this area to give her shape of her ear better. Let's see, this actually goes this way. I'm trying to do a little negative burning so that I get the shape right. This goes up. So even with white fur, really it should detail it out, not just leave it blank, because then it'll feel off to you. Right here, I need to get the poofy hair, just using the edge and the tip. Let's see here. See, there's more hair that goes across. I don't know if I can get it. But while we're here, do need to darken the outer edge. So yeah, I don't try to put other people their burners down, because they're creating art and they're enjoying themselves. That's all that matters. Just don't say it's the best. All done?
She wanted a cookie.
She wanted a cookie, because that's what she does.
She's like, "Oh, this is free cookie time. All I have to do is bark. Me, 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 me."
Yep.
Roar, roar, roar.
I need to darken this part of the ear, so I'm going to turn up my heat. So the face is slowly starting to come into focus. Let's see here. I'll show you I'll put it this way. So I'm working on this side.
Mm-hmm.
So this side is what I've done earlier. See how the face is changing just by adding.
Are you asking chat or are you asking
Well, I'm
me?
showing. Look at the screen.
I'm looking at the screen. We have 1, 2, 3, 4.
And
we have
everybody.
3 screens. And
Everybody.
The actual
Everybody. Makes a big difference. Just adding a little bit more shading.
Yeah, it does. You can definitely see the definition there.
Yeah. Alright, so I'm up to 4, a little over 4, because I need to darken this ear.
I don't want to change the subject.
Go for it.
What do you want for lunch?
I have no clue.
You want chili dogs or do you want barbecue?
Do we have hot dog buns?
We have, yes. And we have 2 hot dogs and we have 2 bratwursts, so we could each have.
No bratwurst.
I will have the bratwurst.
With my chili.
See, chat, this is what it's like. Huh?
With my chili, the bratwurst goes bleh.
So, yeah, and then we've got that. So we can save the barbecue.
Okay.
I'm really excited to try out that barbecue sauce.
I am too. Alright, trying to darken up some of this.
We ordered out of state for some barbecue sauce that is critically acclaimed. I'm very excited.
Alright.
It's from the South.
No, it's not. Kansas City is not the South.
Okay.
It's the Midwest.
Okay, it's from the Midwest. But it's from a place that's known for its barbecue. So, I'm excited about it.
I just said it.
What?
I said the place.
I know you did.
Okay. Let's see. I need to get the camera on my face. Alright, so in here, I definitely need darker.
Amy says Taco Tuesday. Why, Amy? You can't mention tacos around Val. I am sorry I read that comment.
Tacos.
God. Yes.
Gross.
Anywho. When do you want me to do the hint? Because
Oh, go ahead.
Beryl is screaming for the hint.
Go for
Like literally.
it.
So I'm going to recap the hints from Valerie's celebrity portrait that she's going to be doing.
In fact, I'll be starting it. I gotta get the buffalo done, the bison done before September 18th. So as soon as I finish the bison, I'm gonna jump right into this portrait.
Okay.
Go for it.
Troy, don't.
Troy doesn't know
don't
because
don't share our private moments, Troy.
is he talking about you guys cuddling?
No. What? No.
Oh.
Why would you bring that up? That's probably after I got a concussion from somebody who stalked me and jumped off the wall lockers and gave me a power slam.
Who could that be?
I don't know. Somebody who's in chat, whose initials might be Troy.
That's not his initial.
Anyway.
But it wasn't me though.
Back when we were roommates. Okay. So the hints. Alright, I'm going to recap. Wow, we've been doing this for 9 weeks.
I know I need to get started on the piece,
Yeah.
but I got this other stuff I really need to finish. Like next week we're burning the buffalo.
Okay.
Until it's done.
Alright, so hints. He's a dude. His hair is an iconic part of his style. He is not dead. He's not a musician, but he is in entertainment. He's on American TV, but not network TV. He's not on one of the big networks. The free hint, he's no clowns. Keep
No
the clowns
clowns.
out of here.
No clowns.
Right. He has dark hair, no gray in his hair. He has facial hair. And that's all of the past tense. And now for the current hint.
Is that all the past tense?
That is all the past tense.
Okay.
So the current hint is
Oops.
the show that he is on is a reality type show. So it's not a drama. It's not a scripted drama. It is a reality type show. So, there you are.
Now we're going to get much closer to people figuring it out.
I believe that we will too, actually. So, because, yeah. But then again, how many reality shows are there? Because there's
I
a
have no clue.
lot. So, it's my medicine time.
Let's see. So let's see what comes in.
Char says he's the big spoon when you cuddle. You know, yeah, but that's just because you're taller. And you know that I don't want to talk about it.
Trying to darken this area while they're having a lover spot. Alright, gotta get this darker. But the ear is starting to feel more like an ear. Let's see if I can do
Whenever
this.
I feel my ear, it feels more like an ear. Oh, your ear feels more like an ear too.
He's grabbing my ear. I'm burning here. It is hard saying yes or no to the hints.
I know, but there's a lot of hints coming in right now.
Let's see.
Or not hints, a lot of guesses coming in. A lot of people I've never heard of.
Yeah. Does it play in the UK? That's another hint, though.
Well, remember what I said?
No.
Remember what the other hint that I was going to say?
No.
I'm not going to say it.
Kind of, but no. I don't remember.
It had to do with region.
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe that'll be next week's hint.
Okay.
Because that will literally.
You think?
Yeah. I do.
Let's get this indent. I do think I'll have this piece done by the 30th. I know I'll have this piece done by the 30th. Where I'm happy with it. You see, this darkness is the same as that darkness, which is the same. I've been trying to stick to one side. So you can see the difference that contrast makes. Mm-hmm. It really does. Just spending that little bit more time with your burning.
Yeah.
It makes all the difference. Does anybody come up with it?
Not yet. Oh. So that was like a freebie there.
I know, it's hard, isn't it?
I should have said, I'm not saying.
It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah. What are we going to do when somebody guesses it? We're going to say, oh, someone's guessed it? Or are we just going to be like,
I will
direct
contact
message them?
Yeah, I will contact them outside of chat to let them know. And then, but if we're closer to me having the piece done, then we'll just announce it.
Well, I think
once somebody gets it in the comments as well.
Get it, though.
Yeah, they're.
I would say that by the point that you actually start the piece.
You think?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Because once you lay down the pattern, your pattern's going to be meticulous and accurate, and everybody's going to know.
Okay, but I'm not burning it live.
Oh.
I'm going to be burning that. I mean, it's going to be on camera so that I have a video, but it's going to be off live. So the only way they'll know is if I post photos. And I'll only do update photos if we have the two winners. Once we got the two winners, then I think we can discuss it.
Teresa, I wish Bob were still alive. But unfortunately, he's not. And he's not.
Oops.
That's one of the hints is that this person is currently alive. Yes. Unless Bob has been reanimated and he's Bob Zombie Ross.
Bob Zombie?
Yeah. Ooh, is Rob Zombie actually Bob?
I don't know. He is creative.
He just took up a different path and turned to metal.
He went
you
dreads.
You never see his hair because he's wearing a cowboy hat.
No, he went. No, Rob's got. He's got dreads.
Hashtag Rob Zombie.
Or at least he
Bob
used
Ross.
to. Oh boy, we're. Where are we at? 204.
Aaron says, "Are they at least cute?" I
can't answer that one either.
Confirm nor deny it.
Let's see here. Why are we? I don't know why we're.
Are we buffering?
Yes. Well, look up there.
Yeah.
Are you buffering?
I can't. No, not yet. I'm sure I will be.
Why?
How much longer are we gonna go?
No, I'm showing the difference in the contrast.
Boy, that's buffering hard, isn't it?
It is.
Oh, Teresa didn't know Bob passed.
Oh, shoot.
I'm so sorry.
I don't think he can. Can you ask them in chat if it's buffering for them? Because it's showing buffer for me. And the chat will be quicker to ask. Yeah, once I get this contrast on her, I think I'll be much happier. Because maybe it's not, but because you're not buffering at all. I've backed out the camera. Is it back here? I'll pop this off so that we know. Oh, okay. Well, then for whatever reason, I'm buffering. But if you guys are good, yay! Okay, so get back to. So this is the start of the contrast. We can see now how, and I need to darken this area along here. The whitest part is right here and right here. But between the two sides, you can already see the difference that contrast really makes. And if you stick to it, it really will make your subject, whatever it is, pop. Let's see here. So I wonder why my screen's... That's odd, but I'm glad nobody else is.
I've never seen that.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe this down one more time. Because part of checking the contrast, it may look dark now. But when I wipe it, I need to do upside down so I don't get the splinters again. Here's what it's going to show me. And now I can pay more attention to it. So I'm going to wipe right here. And we're going to see how dark the wood goes. And if I lose any of my burning. Because I use polyacrylic. And this is about... It might darken the wood just a little bit more. But this is about where...
Is anything coming off?
Not anymore. So we can see, I can see by doing this, I can see how much of the burn, where it's lighter, is going to disappear. And it's not that the burn just disappears. What it is the wood darkens. And when you've got your lighter burn, with the lighter burn and the darker wood from sealing, it makes the light disappear.
I understand that. It makes sense.
Yeah. So all I'm doing right here is checking to see how much I lose. Because if I lose more than I want, that tells me I need to darken. But it looks like... Let me cut this light. See if we can see any better. Looks like it's overall gonna do pretty good. It still needs more darks. But where my lights are in some of these areas, it doesn't look like they go away. Let's flip the board. Do this. Whee! And back it out more. Burner's off. Alrighty. So just... maybe this light does help. Just that little bit of contrast makes all the difference. Whereas this eye looks more forward. This now gives the eye its shape.
Yeah.
And then down into the muzzle. So, do we have any more questions? And while we're waiting to see if there's any more questions, I gotta tell you this. I really do. I gotta tell you that you're awesome.
I am?
You can do this.
Are you sure?
You're a pyro artist.
I don't know about that.
And don't forget, if you're new, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. We go live every Tuesday, 11 a.m. Arizona time. And was it November? Is it October or November when the time change happens?
Is it?
We don't change time. The rest of you guys do.
Yeah.
So, contrast. You need it. It makes your burning feel more complete. Don't look at that part. There we go. That is our difference.
And I'm starting some chili dogs.
Yay. Aaron wants to know how much darker. I need to have these two darks pretty much equal. Though this line right here is a little darker, I need to darken her leg, which this leg was driving me nuts, but now that I'm looking at it as a whole, it looks better. I do want it to go darker, especially since the nose and the shadow is really dark. I need to have that balance. Yeah. So I would say this will be my lightest dark. So wherever this shade is going to be more here, and this will be darker. Yes, I will be doing critiques in the future. I just need to get through World Pyrography Month, which there is only 2 prompts left, and I am caught up. I got my 2 prompts to do this week, and I'm done. There'll be a video next week showing the finished piece. I need to get this done. Both of these are due by August 31st. And then I've got the bison for It's Elemental to get finished. My celebrity piece. What else?
I was trying to show David's message and I accidentally hit it. I'm so sorry, David.
It's okay. Let me see here. Let me see if I can bring it back. No, I can't bring it back. Darn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Denatured alcohol. That's what I use to wipe it down. I do have it listed. I think it's on my Amazon store front thingy. So that's what I use. Oh yes, I gotta get the owl done for the magazine. Has anybody? I know Burl hasn't gotten her magazine. I know Greg did get his magazine. Has anybody else got their magazine? Because if so, please post it with a hashtag.
Beryl says you have an owl to do.
I know. I've got so much to do, and then I've also got a big video to get done, and I want that done before December. Ugh. Where's all the time? Next week is bison. This one will be done. I will post photos over on Facebook of it in our group, which is linked down in the description, of it being done. And actually, if you're a subscriber, I'm also going, if you're on your phone, for YouTube, I can post other things other than the video. It'll show up in your news feed, as long as you want it to. And I'll show you an update finish of this. I will be sealing it in polyacrylic gloss. And I got a video that I'm going to be doing on that too. Let's see. I do. Did David, you got a magazine? Aaron has too much time. Burn away. So, we're going to go ahead and finish off here. Happy burning, guys.
Bye.
Bye.